today we're gonna do a pumpkin. It's getting close to fall, so I thought we could do a pumpkin today. Okay, so I have a lot of things we're gonna use here. So we have our wreath form. I have our orange 21 inch by 20 foot Deco mesh. Now we probably won't use the whole thing, but we'll see. I have several different colors of green. This is the 10 by 10. And I have the 4-inch Deco mesh ribbon. And then to make the stem, we're actually going to be using part of this paper towel holder. And then I have some brown burlap, because I just kind of like that, to use that instead of the Deco mesh, just for the stem. And then to decorate the top, we have some different little berries and, you know, little leaves, little pine cones. I think that's cute. Now there's two different ways you can put this on. You can put it on with pipe cleaners, and that works just fine. So I'm just going to open this up and we'll get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is pull some out. Let me kind of move things around here. And I like to take it and meet these two ends in the middle like this, and then do my little scrunch. And the reason I do that is because it will help me to get this going in the middle like I want it to, because of course I don't want you to really be able to see through it, so it just makes it a little bit easier to make the long loops like we're going to be making. So I will start like right here on the edge, like where this little wire is here, right here. And I will actually tie it in the back. And I'm going to tie it on the end because that's where you're going to want to tie these. It's right on the end. Okay. I'll make it really tight because I don't want it to come out. Okay. So then what you're going to do, see, we made that little, whew, hold on, I'm having mesh trouble here. Okay. It's not wanting to cooperate. Here we go. Okay, so we made those two ends meet in the middle. So we're going to use that to pull this down, whoops, like this. Okay. So I'm kind of tying this so that it's kind of hanging out to the side. Okay, so once we get that first little one made, right here, we want it to be out to the side. Then we're just going to take our mesh and we're going to pull it back up. And I don't want, I'm going to pull it really close to this next one because I want this to be sticking out to the side, because pumpkins are not round. They're more like oval. Then we have that one that we tied earlier. So I'm going to run this back here, tie it in the back like this. Okay. There we go. And then I'm just going to tie them as I go along. So I've cut a bunch in half because really you don't need a whole one. So I'll just, whoops, take my mesh. I'll make sure this one's in the right spot. Here we go. Now I'm going to go back down like this. Okay, and then I'm going to come in the back And I want to put my tie right here in between 1 and 2. Tie it. And then I'm going to put this down around the back. Make sure it's in the spot I want it to be. Yes. I'm going to tie it off. And the reason that you're tying it in the back is because you don't want to see these ties and you want it to look seamless. So you're going to have to twist your mesh around to make sure that the front part is coming back up, and then you go across again like that. See? See how that looks? And then you're going to do the same thing. So you're going to take another pipe cleaner, run it through the second row here, tie it off, then pull your mesh around, make sure it's in a good spot, and then tie it off. One thing you can do is tie it to the one before it just to keep it from moving around. Like that. See, and then when we come back across, we want to make sure that front is showing and not this back side where we have these two pulled together. So you're just going to pull it down like that. And don't worry, at the end you can kind of move these around and make sure that your layers are good. But just pull it down. See, and the reason that we did that is because you see how nice and thick that is? So see, you can't see the frame in the back. So I'll just do another. You can even do the second and third layer here, like this, to try to tie it in the back. If you want to use pipe cleaners, you could do the same thing. Did I say pipe cleaners? I didn't mean pipe cleaners. I meant zip ties. You could use zip ties. You don't have to use pipe cleaners. You can use zip ties or pipe cleaners. The one works just fine. Okay, and then we're going to come back around, making sure that the nice side is showing up. We're just going to spread it across here. So see, you're going back and forth. You're going back and forth, and you're just kind of inching over as you go. So you do want to progressively make your way across, but keeping it nice so that you can't see in the back. You can come in and do all your zip ties ahead of time if you want to. I just kind of find it's a little bit better, at least with this one, to do it as I go because, you know, depending on what mesh I use, I don't really know how many I'm going to need and where exactly I'm going to need them. So I just kind of do it as I'm going. And when you put these down, see, I'm tying it here in the back. When you put these down, you want to tie it off very tight right then, because this is not like you're going to be coming back and adding ribbon. You're done with it. So tie it off really tight. Then make sure you twist it back around so that you can come back to the nice side and come back down. See? Then, oops, put your next one down. And so I'm just going to keep going back and forth like this, so to make sure you can see. Okay? Just coming in the middle, in between 2 and 3, tying it, and then pulling my mesh across, and then tying it in the back, here. Hold on, my pipe cleaner keeps slipping underneath. Okay. And then I will tie it down. nice and tight. So I don't want this to come apart later. That would really stink. Okay, so see how that looks so far? See? You're just going to keep going across in the back. Don't worry about this side here. We're going to kind of, at the end, we're kind of tuck and make sure that it's still kind of hanging out to the side because we want it to form more of an oval shape. And you know, you can't really find wreath forms that are oval shapes. So it's really easy. Just make that little bubble over at the side. So, we're just going to keep doing the same thing. So kind of twisting it as we come around. Bring it down like here. Go in the back. Run your zip tie in the middle here. Just tying it off nice and tight. Of course, if you make it tight, it's not going to move. And then, I'm just going to tie this off. And before I completely tie it tight, I always look back just to make sure, yes, it's where I want it to be. It's as tight as I want it to be. Or as loose. That is a personal preference. You can either make it really tight or you can make it a little loose. See, now I want it to be slightly loose because I want to be able to come back and kind of work with these. But see, I like that. I think that looks nice and uniform. So I'm just going to keep doing the same thing. Just kind of twist it around as I'm coming back. Like that. And then come back around the back and tie this in between the two. So I'm going to keep working on this, and I will go all the way across, and when I get to the other side, before I'm completely finished, I will come back and we will make the loop on this side like we did on this side, and then we can start doing our leaves and decorating it. So I'll be back soon. I just want to give you one more view of what it looks like. So see, we're tying it right in between this second and third loop, except for that very first one. See, we just tied it right here on the outside and then started coming back and forth. See, and that gives it that nice oval shape. So I will be back shortly and I'll keep going across, and then when I get over here I'll come back and we'll do this other little puff on the side. Then we can start decorating. So I'll be back. Okay, so I have gotten the majority of this done. I want you to see the back. So here's where I made the little loop that goes out to the side, and then you can see I tied it in between this second and third one. And I have come to the end of my roll, so I'm going to start a new roll. I won't need a whole lot of this, but so I'm going to do the same thing I did before. I'm going to take the two middle pieces and I'm going to pull them together in the middle and then do my little scrunch. I want to start it the way I did before, so almost like it's upside down. So I will start it like this. See, I have the rough edges up, and I will use one of my zip ties and I will tie it down back here behind this last one so that you can't see. Okay, and if you see smoking, don't worry, that's just the little electric skillet in the back for when we get done. Okay, I'm going to tie it real tight and snip that off. Alright, now I did add a few ties I don't do a whole bunch when I'm doing these because sometimes you'll need several in one section and sometimes you won't need very many. And as you get closer to the end, then it's less that you need. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to pull it down the same way I've been doing. I'm going to pull it pretty snug. I mean, I don't want to pull it so tight that I'm moving the frame, but I don't want it to be real loose either. So I'll pull it down here, tie it really tight with my little pipe cleaner. And then I'll tuck my pipe cleaner out of the way. Okay. Then I'm going to do the same thing. Just going to go back around again, making sure that those rough edges are on the bottom so you can't see them. And I'm going to go slightly over the last one, like that. Okay. Bring it around and tie it in the back. See, and the reason I'm going down 2 or 3 is because I don't want it to, if you tie it on the top, it will still slip around and you'll be able to see it. So I don't want you to see the pipe cleaners. I want them to be used and not seen. Okay. So I'll tuck those around back. Okay. And I think I've said this before, but I will say it again. Whenever I'm doing a project, I always make sure I have more than one roll because sometimes, depending on what I'm doing, see, I'm not going to need that. I will quickly run out, and then I have been in the middle of the project and had to go to the store and try to find more. And that is not a good situation to be in. Okay, so I'm going to go back across again. Use one of these ties. See, we're just about done. Okay. So I'm just tying it down with this tie. Make sure that's tucked under. Okay. That's not real loose. And I'm going to tie it real tight. I want to tie this really tight because I don't want it to come off later. Then I'll tuck it around in the back. There we go. See, now we're back at the end. So we're going to need to make this little piece and then the one out to the side to match this side. So we should be able to get one more little straight poof. And then we should be able to do the side one. I did want to tell you, if you prefer to make white pumpkins, that's okay too. You can do this exact same thing in the white or the cream colored mesh, or you could also use the burlap. There's some pretty off-white burlap too. Okay. All right. So see, all we have to do is that little puff on the side. So I'm actually, see, I'm not going to need this right here, so I am going to take this off. And I'm going to slide it in between the two on this one. I'm going to tuck it around that little center bracket just to keep it from moving. Okay. Okay, so there's one. See, and I have another one. I'm going to do the same thing with it. So I'll just take it off. Just slide it over here. And I'm going to tuck it around there, then tie it off. There we go. Okay. So, I'm just going to go out here to the outside. And I'm going to bring it around this little one here because I want it to stay in place. So I'll tie that one right here, that one we just did, and then I'll pull it up and I will, sorry, it likes to stick together. I will kind of pull it around here, and I'm going to hold it with my hand here because I don't want it to come undone. Okay. Then I'll tie it off. Then we'll see if we need a little bit more. Okay. I think we might. I have a bunch of strings over here. I'm going to cut these off. Okay. Alright, so I do need just a little bit more right there. So, I'm going to do another little pipe cleaner, and I'm going to put it, I'm actually going to put it right down here in between these two, so that I have a place to start from. See, all I'm doing is tying it here so that I have a good place to start from. Tuck that back around. Okay. See, and the reason we did that is because we can use it to go right across this, right here. And then what we can do is we can tie it off right over here. So I want to make sure it's going to go across where I want it to go across, which is right here. See, we would have had like this little spot here, so we don't want to have that. So I'll tuck it around that other one. Now, I'm actually going to take it over a little bit more, so let's see, I think that might do it. Because what I don't want is for it to come loose, so there we go. Tuck that underneath. And then we have the basic pumpkin. Okay, so I can snip this off. See, we didn't use very much of the second roll, just a little tiny bit. But then I'm going to take one of my little ties, and I'm going to tie this just to make sure it's not going to come loose. There we go. All right. There we go. I'll just push that back. All right, now, so see, we have our pumpkin. And what I generally do is I look to see, okay, which side looks cleaner. And I think this side down here looks a little cleaner. So I am probably going to do all of my stuff up here. Yeah, I think so. Alright, so what I'm going to do, oh, and while I'm at it, let me tell you this. You can use this basic, what I guess I would call a wreath recipe. You can do a ghost, see, and do white. See, doesn't how it looks? It almost looks like it's the, or a mummy. It almost looks like it's the little strips. You can do the Grinch if you do green, and then do, you know, a Santa hat and his little face. It's a really great one because, you know, the Grinch's face is kind of this shape. So I thought those were really cute. You can also decorate it for Halloween just by, when you put all your stuff on, just by putting some little Halloween decorations on it. See, there's all kinds of cute little things you could put on it. I'm actually going to do this just strictly for fall, but I thought I would at least share some other ideas. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to work on the leaves and the stem. So I'm going to cut 2 leaves with this green, and I'm going to do them at 11, and I'm going to cut 2 at this with this green. So I will use my mat, and I'll just roll these out together, and I'm just going to cut them at 10 inches and make my little leaf. Whoop. This does not want to stay there. Alright, let's see. So I'm just going to take my rotary cutter, get myself a clean edge. There we go. Alright. I think I'm going to switch to the other rotary cutter because that one's getting a little dull. Okay. So now I will just take my 2, and since I have my nice mat, I can cut them both at the same time. So I just go to the 10, make 1 cut, go to the 20, and make another cut. So now I'm going to need some green pipe cleaners. And I think I'm going to use this kind of lighter shade of green. There we go. You could also use floral wire. That works. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these rolls, and I'm going to, on the side that it rolls up, I'm just going to meet the 2 ends in the middle, pinch it together, and make a bow tie like that. I'm not going to need a whole pipe cleaner, so I'm going to cut this in half. Okay, and I'm just going to pull it real tight and tie it off. I want this one to be like this. So we'll leave that one, we'll set it aside. We're going to do the same thing on the next one. So meet it in the middle, pinch it up like this. Okay. Take our pipe cleaner, go around the back, and just make it real tight. Like that. Because I like these little pieces. Okay, then we're going to take our lighter green. We're going to do the same thing. Well, let's do this in half. Okay, on the side that it rolls up, we're just going to take the 2 pieces in the middle Meet them together, pinch it up, and this time we're going to twist so that we get almost like a petal. You see there? I just twisted it. So then I'm going to take my pipe cleaner, hold it tight, and twist that because I don't want it to lose its shape. So this is going to be our standing up leaves. So I'm going to do the same thing with this one. I'm just going to put the two pieces together in the middle, bring it together, and I'm going to twist this bottom so that they're both going in the same direction. Then take this pipe cleaner, and you can hold them together like this, and then take your pipe cleaner and do it real tight like that. See, and that keeps it together. There we go. See, now we have two that are going to stand up, and we have two that are going to be at the bottom, and I'll kind of arrange them like this so that we have, you know, one coming down. So the thing is, I want them to be kind of separated like this. There. All right. Okay, so now that we have our leaves really kind of put together, we're going to work on the stem. So what I like to do is take the paper towel holder, and I'm just going to kind of glue it together. And I just do this because it just gives it a little bit more of a base. So glue that together. Woo, hot. And one more time. So I just glue it together twice. There we go. Alright. So once that's pretty good, what I will do, and I'm just putting my little glue pieces in my little pot over there because it's a great thing for the leftovers. So I'm actually going to use some white, I say white, brown burlap just because I kind of like the way that looks. It looks like the right brown to me. It's not shiny, it's just the right shade. So I'll just take this, glue down the first piece, and then I'll just roll it until I feel like it's the right amount. And I'll just cut it off like that. And then I'll glue that last piece down. And what I'll do is I will push it down, make sure it's going to stay. And I will use things other than my fingers because I kind of like them to be not burnt. There we go. See? And then this up here will be our stem. So, I figured out which side I want to put my stem. So I will flip it over, get my brown pipe cleaner. I'm just gonna tie it at the bottom, very tight, like that. And then I'm going to tie it to the base. I was just looking to make sure that was the height I wanted. So I'll just run it through, and I'll make sure I'm in the center, yes. Okay, I'll just run it through, tie it down, and you can also go back around it. See, I'm just kind of running my pipe cleaner through the wire frame. Right there, tying that down. So I just want to make sure it's tied to the frame well. There we go. I like that. Okay, 1 second. Come on. Sorry, my puppy was just having a fit at the door, so. Okay, so now we've gotten, let's see if I can, there we go. Now we've gotten the basic part done. So we can take our leaves and start placing them on. I'm going to start with this one, and I'm just going to tie it right here behind my stem. So that's what I'm going to tie it onto. Tie it on my stem. Ooh, it's a little bit snug. Okay, let's do this. So I think I cut that one just a little bit too small. So I'll do this. So I'm going to tie this on to another pipe cleaner here. There we go. And then I'm going to tie this on. To my stem. Like this. So I'm just tying this on in the back. Okay. So now we've got our first set, and I want to have these kind of hanging down in the front, like that. Okay. Then we have our two that are going to go up. I'm going to put one on one side of this stem. I'm going to tie it down at the base so that it's kind of standing up. Woo, it's sticking. There we go. And one on the other side of the base, making sure that my flowers are facing forward. My petals, I mean. Okay. And I don't worry too much about the back because I'll cover the back with something. Alright, so I want to make sure that I can still see my stem. So I don't want to cover that, but I do want my leaves to stand up. Then I'll do these two that go out to the side next. And I'm actually going to go back behind my two little petals. And put this one on. See how that looks. Yeah, see. See, I like to do different colors because, you know, in nature, the petals are never always exactly the same color. I think that's actually pretty good. I don't think we really need to put another petal on it. So I'm going to stop with just that. Because I think if I put another one, it's going to cover our stem. So now that I've got these on, what I'm going to do next, I see this is where you could put your Halloween stuff on. but I'm actually going to stick with fall. So I'm just going to take this really nice little bush I have, and I'm going to cut some of these off. I especially want ones with these little berries on it. So we'll cut some of these off. See, here's one with berries. Oh, look at that. This one has a little pine cone on it and some like little sticks. I like that. Okay. And what I'll do is I'll figure out where I want to put it. And I will run it through my glue in my little skillet. I want to get a good amount of glue on it, so I don't want it to come off. And then I will put it down where I want it to go. And then I will let it dry. And there's two things that you can do here in the front. You could make a bow and kind of put that right here in the front. Or, so I'm going to cut one of these red flowers here. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide it behind this little leaf that we made, and I'm going to glue it on right there, because that's going to cover that little piece, and it matches with our colors. Okay, so I will just keep putting these in here. All right, let's see. I want to put some down in the front. Okay. Kind of hanging down, almost hiding behind that little leaf. Like that. I like that. I'm going to cut a few more with that little berry. Okay. I'm just going to stick it in to the mesh and kind of hide that, and then pull my leaves out like that. There we go. That's cute. I don't know if I like that flower. Let's take that off right now. We may just use the little leaves. Actually. Okay, so I'm just going to keep cutting these and putting them around until I feel like there's enough little cute decorations on it. So, cut that one off. Oh yeah, let's cut this one off. Okay. See, that's so cute. It has a little pine cone right there. So I will run it through my glue, kind of slide it. Ah! Cute little pine cone came off. I'm just going to glue it right back on. See there? So I'll just stick that up there. Okay. Let's do this one. Let's put this back here. That. There we go. Okay. And now we'll just kind of work to make sure these are kind of turned forward. Okay. Alright. I'm going to put one on this side, over here. And turn it around. See, I just stuck it underneath right there. Yeah, like that. Okay. There we go. Alright. So, let's see. I think I'm just going to stick with the leaves because I think they kind of just work with the wreath perfectly. So, see, I'm just using that to cover the little bit in the middle. Whoops. Oh, I think that tore right off. Okay. Let's just put a little tad of glue on it. I'm just going to glue it back on. Alright. There we go. Okay, I have some other cute little berries I thought I would add. I just like it. It kind of gives it a little dimension. Yeah. Okay. Stick it right in there. See, isn't that cute? I like that. So of course you can do as much of this or as little as you want. You may not like a whole bunch. Or you may like a whole lot more than me. That's just personal preference. Okay. Okay. So see, let me pull this up a little bit. So that's how it's looking right now. You can see our little stem in the back. I like that. So then you can just kind of play with the little leaves and get them to where you want them. I'll move this around. So I'll just keep playing with it until it looks, yeah, more like I want it to look. There we go. I definitely want to see these little leaves. Okay. See, and then what I'll do, so the back kind of looks a little messy. So there's several things you can do. You can take some of these leaves and you can glue them right over these little pieces. Or you can take, let me see if I have one. Yes, I do. So I get these cute little mats at the dollar store, and I'm not sure which one will be the right size. Let's see. Probably that one. So what I can do, often what I do when I'm doing a wreath like this and it's kind of messy in the back, I will take one of these and I will take a couple pipe cleaners and I will just tie it down. See, and then it just looks perfectly finished. You can't even tell where anything is. But then you're going to want to take, see, that one looks like it would fit too. Yeah. So then you're going to want to take something and put it back here so that you can hang this. Because you want to have something that will work for hanging it. But that's it. That's the first fall pumpkin for me for this year. So I hope you like this and that you have found something that gives you an idea of something you can do. We have quite a few others coming up. Someone asked me to recreate the pineapple with the sunflowers, so that is going to be coming up in the next week or so. I still have quite a few on my list. There's one or two other pumpkins that I'm going to do that are a little different than this, but I thought this was fun. I just like these colors too. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you again soon. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Thanks. Bye-bye.